watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa, and our first segment, Chaos in the Kitchen with Julie Finley, and spokesperson for Foodland Ontario, and of course, Mom in the Know herself. How are you?
I'm
what do you
so
mean,
good.
wow? I'm just loosening us up here,
know.
right?
Well, it is, you know what, I got a little excited because it's starting to get cold outside, and I'm big about comfort foods.
Okay.
And I do love pasta, and it's not my family's first go-to.
Right.
So I thought I'm gonna try a couple different pastas, 3,
Nice.
for them and for everyone at home, because we've got ground lamb, we've got ground pork, chicken, turkey. There's so many things that you could be putting in your pastas, lots of protein. We're gonna have, I know it's getting cold, but we're still gonna have greenhouse tomatoes and peppers. And so anything you're looking for, foodlandontario.ca, it'll tell you what's available and then what recipes you can do.
And if they followed your instructions over the last few months, they have gathered some of those local produce, right, that's not necessarily available, right, throughout the year, and you have frozen them properly, thanks to Julie Finley.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I hope everybody did.
Of course they did.
I thought 3 good comfort foods. I've got a pasta pizza penne.
A pasta pizza penne.
So the penne is going to ask like the crust, super easy to make. Then we're going to go on and we're going to make a gnocchi skillet with lovely tomatoes, fresh chicken. So it's good cheat with that. Beginning of the week, if you've got an air fryer, you want to bake just 2 big chickens, you could just cut it off the bone and have it set to go. So that's good for me because I can get the kids in the kitchen doing their own thing.
Exactly.
And then a lamb skillet lasagna.
Oh my goodness.
So the baked pizza penne, super easy. Just to save time, I'd already taken garlic, onion, and red peppers, and with a tablespoon of oil, and I've just sauteed them for about 5 minutes until they're soft. Okay, so you've got garlic, everything's fresh there. Then all we're gonna do is we're gonna add, not sure why that's there. We're going to add diced tomatoes. I kept them in the can because I want people, you can look for more local things. This is made in Canada.
Oh, really? So this is Canadian?
Yes,
okay.
And there is a hothouse one too that actually literally is from Ontario.
Nice.
So you're gonna add that entire can in. You're also gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. That's gonna thicken it up.
All right.
And you're just gonna give that a little, stir.
You got it, I'm here for you.
And really, all you're going to do is you're going to take fresh pepperoni and chunk it in.
Nice.
But another fun thing is a good go-to snack, the Pilsner's pepperoni
is that the Pilsner
stick.
little mini ones?
It is.
Okay.
And they're gluten-free, and they've got some protein in them.
Oh,
so
they're gluten-free?
They are gluten-free.
That's good to know, because sometimes they use fillers, right, for that kind of thing. So
and literally, you're going to put your oven on at 350. You're going to just pour that on top of the penne. I've already cooked the penne. 2.5 cups of penne. And you, of course, get that fresh from your local grocers and the specialty shops, and they're so fun to touch. You're going to walk out of there with more than just a penne, which is okay.
That is true. That is true. There is some nice stores, by the way, that do, as Julie said, make it fresh, and you will take it home, and it is so much better.
So much better. Then you're going to add your fresh mozzarella, and that was mixed in with Parmesan.
Okay.
So we're just going to cook that in the oven, and here you go. You've got your lovely baked pizza penne.
That looks
Serve it with garlic bread, great for later on as well.
Love it.
So this is a skillet gnocchi, super easy. Again, I've started with 1 red and 1 yellow pepper. Just smells so good, eh? With fresh garlic.
Honestly, like if you just throw onions and peppers in a pan, like your creative juices, but your creative juices just start flowing, and you'll just make something all of a sudden.
Yes, absolutely. So for this one, we're going to add in our fresh tomatoes. I did greenhouse tomatoes, took the seeds out, so there's a little less seeds and less juice there.
Would you use maybe a Roma because there are less seeds?
You know what? I do like the greenhouse. I just like how plump they are. But of course, Roma is great as well, for sure.
Okay.
And then we've got that.
But we do Roma, greenhouse Romas.
We do.
Right?
Yeah, all year long, for sure.
I was losing it
I'm
for a
actually going to take out the recipe because there's one thing I always get a little too excited about. So I'm going to cook that. And then I'm going to add in a little bit. This is a thickener. We've got 2.5 cups of milk. And we've got 3 tablespoons of flour. And we're just going to whisk that together. And then we're going to pour it in. And we're just going to cook it for a little while. So I'm going to keep that going while we go on to our next recipe because this is a thickener.
I'm going to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Great. And then we'll just get that going for a little bit. And while we're doing that...
So that'll reduce somewhat?
Yeah, it actually just thickens up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's almost like that sauce. So anytime that Alfredo or anything else, that's got like your butter, your little bit of flour, and your milk or whatever cream. Sometimes people use heavy cream. Of course, choose what works for you and your family. Okay. Okay, and then we have the lamb skillet lasagna. So I have taken ground lamb, and it's actually very inexpensive.
Really?
If you go, I'm finding actually all of our ground local meats are very inexpensive. So they're a great way to, add your protein. So I've mixed that in with onion and garlic as well because people start running. Yeah. And then all you're going to do, this is so easy. You are just going to take your lasagna, 4 of them. You're going to break them apart. And you got this on high.
My Italian friends are probably going, what are you doing right now? What are you doing,
I'm
Julie
just having
Finley?
fun with food. Yeah, it's fresh.
You should see the look of panic on poor Julie's face there.
But I realized that those lovely diced tomatoes
that's for here.
Are going in here.
I knew there was a reason we had them
they're
here.
all over the place. So we're just
So is this kind of a one-pot deal
This is a skillet one-pot thing. You're just going to pour this
thing, I guess.
on top. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit here because then you're going to add the spinach in as well, and you're going to cook it up. I'm going to get that going. All right. And you're literally going to add, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're going to add this on top, and this is also a cup of stock that we're going to put just to get the juices going. We're going to add the rest of this here.
And it looks like, by the way, and I know you're probably thinking, yeah, Derek, I know, but it looks like a lot of spinach, but does it really reduces to nothing?
And it's a great way to get it in, sneak that spinach in everywhere.
I still make that mistake to this day. You know, buy the big bag of spinach, you're like, oh, I should only use half of this bag. And then all of a sudden,
you're like sorry,
Monica and I have like this much spinach, right? Because I love cooked spinach, but it's like this little dollop all of a sudden.
I know.
It's the
great.
whole bag.
It's also great to put in smoothies, everything. It's just sneak it in. Okay, so we've got this thickened. Now we're going to add 2.5 cups or 500 grams of gnocchi. You're going to bring that, and we're also going to add a little bit of chipotle pepper. So another key thing you should have in your pantry is chipotle peppers. It comes in a can. I just took out a tablespoon and a half of the sauce that was in there. And then I've got 2 cups of chicken.
That's left over from those chickens, right?
Exactly.
That you made earlier on in the week.
And then I am going to pour in the cheese. So again, your old cheddar or mozzarella cheese, and you're just going to thicken this up. And I'm going to actually just get you to taste this because you have to tell. I know you've got to tell everyone at home how delicious this is. And it's the nice addition of the tomatoes, the peppers, and everything else that's going on. Isn't that lovely?
That is so
and it's just
good.
one of those comforts foods. So those are going to be my 3 go-to pastas because, I mean, I can't show you exactly the finish. I did show you the finish, but this takes no time at all. Once this cooks down a little bit, you're literally going to take your ricotta cheese, because everybody knows that tastes delicious in our pastas. You're gonna plop it around with your mozzarella. And you're going to melt it down.
So you're going to melt it all down.
So you're going to melt it all down. You're going to put a cover on it, melt it down. And then you've got your...
These recipes, of course, always available at foodlandontario.ca. Look under TV recipes. Julie has another table set up. We'll be back with Julie with another segment here, talking all recipes from Foodland Ontario. Don't go anywhere.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Trio Financial Planning, helping individuals and families live today and build for tomorrow. Branton Renovation is pleased to support this episode of Daytime Ottawa. Branton Renovations, Ottawa's award-winning renovations team.
Kids these days, people say we lack initiative.
And technology, that we're all addicted.
Kids these days, we hear that we only care about ourselves.
Apparently, we're lazy.
and don't seem to have any sense of independence.
Actually, kids these days are facing a lot because the world has changed, and so have our health issues. Kids these days, we could really use your help. Join CHIO in our biggest fundraising campaign ever to transform pediatric care.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Dustin Design and Drafting, your first step toward building your dream project with a team approach. Daytime Ottawa is proudly supported by Mary's Must Read Book Club. Follow Mary on social media at Mary K. Taggart for her latest book club picks.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Eastboro Designs. Eastboro Designs, designing a bold lifestyle through functionality and beauty.
We are back with Mom in the Know, Julie Finley, talking all things local. Foodlandontario.ca. Again, for all of these recipes, just look under TV recipes and look at this spread. You've done like a double table spread action
Well,
today.
you know what? Because the other thing I'm finding people are asking me about is how can I almost dine and dash, get some good food on the table or good food on the go and just have everyone together. So I pulled together a few of what I really like because I love nachos.
Me
so
too.
this is a great nacho thing because it's going to actually have our local Ontario turkey.
Okay.
So why don't we just start with this one first?
Yeah.
I've actually taken a breast of turkey.
Okay.
And I put it in water and I actually boiled it with onion and garlic until it reaches its 164. So of course all these details will be on the recipe, TV recipes. Then what I've done ahead of time is I've taken Roma tomatoes, which are over on the other table, but they should be here. Just those long Roma tomatoes. I've taken about 4 of them.
Okay.
I've just put them in a pan with an onion and I've blackened them. And then I
Really? So you
blended
haven't cut them?
I have not
You've
even
done it
cut
whole.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you're going to put them in a blender. And you're going to add the adobe chilies that we just talked about in the previous one. And this, I'm going to just get you to taste. Not sure what. Well, you know, I can give you this. This is, it's like a smoky blackened sauce.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So try that. Isn't that lovely?
That is
so that
fabulous.
is just a few ingredients that you've blackened, and then you've added a little bit of chicken stock to it, and you're set to go.
And a nice little spice too at the back of the
Yes.
throat. Amazing.
Lovely. So really what you're going to do is you're just going to add in your turkey now.
Okay.
And you're going to mix it in. And then you're going to spread nacho. I'm just going to mix it in all over the place. Sorry, I always feel a little bit like that little cook on the Muppets. You're just going to have, this is going to be the topping for your nachos.
And it's the Swedish cook, right?
It is the Swedish cook. Yeah. Ukrainian, Swedish.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
There you go.
So then you
apologies to all my Swedish friends.
Oh. So we just mix this in and look at it's just so rich with everything you want in there.
Looks
and
great.
then you're going to add it onto your nacho chips. You're going to have the oven on at 350. You're going to put your fresh Parmesan, and then I added some jalapeno peppers. Those are really lovely. And then when you take it out, you're just going to add your green onions.
Which I love. Nice
Yes,
little bite, nice little crunch to it.
And a little bit of cilantro. So you've got all your protein, all your tomatoes, veggies, and there's, two things I wanted to add to this to just spice it up a bit more is oregano and cumin. That's where you're going to put at the end just to heat it up. So that's your topping for your nachos.
Well, and this is kind of like you kind of feel like you're spoiling yourself because it's nachos, but as you said, it's got all the, the proteins and some wonderful fresh ingredients in there. It's perfect.
And it's fun, and kids do love nachos.
Absolutely.
So that we know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
this.
the Grey Cup coming.
Oh, that is
Big
good.
Grey Cup game. You can make this for your friends and family.
I will post it again for everyone if they've forgotten.
All right.
For sure. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is a squash and apple soup with maple.
You say this is like next level good.
You gotta taste it. It is delicious. It was great. In fact, I only had 2 cups left to bring you, and it makes a big whack of it. Isn't that lovely?
Oh my goodness, that is
so
delicious.
Good. So you are going to take a butternut squash, the little oval guy with the bottom is heavier than the top. Great. peel and chop them up about 5 cups.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to have your onion and garlic again, already sauteed.
Okay.
And I added butter to that, so that was lovely. And I actually use shallots. I like shallots.
I love shallots as well.
Yep.
They seem to last a long time too, right?
Yeah.
In your cupboard, if you store them properly, they last forever.
And this is what you can do over the winter time is figure out what onions you do like cooking with, because there's going to be a lot of them. So
Yes.
we've got big white onions, we've got cooking onions, we've got shallots, and then we'll
Okay.
have our green onions for a bit longer. So you're just going to pour that in. You're going to add your 4 cups of stock.
Okay.
You're going to add 2 apples.
Any particular kind you like?
You know what? I do love the Honeycrisp, but when I'm cooking, I generally go for a Macintosh.
Okay.
But there's Spartan and Empire are really good too. Everyone, when you are picking your apples, always give it a tiny little bit of a squeeze, and then you'll
Right.
know that it's super perfect. Because
Right.
if you're squeezing it's just a little tiny bit overripe. But
Okay.
again, if you find that at home that you have overripe, you can be making applesauce. You could
Oh,
just
yeah, of
cook it
course.
down,
Yeah,
lovely.
absolutely.
You're pouring that in. And then you're going to add in your fresh thyme, about 1.5 teaspoons,
Okay.
and 2 cloves of garlic. And you're literally going to put the top on, which I did not bring. And you're
That's
going to
okay.
bring it to a boil, cook for 25 minutes, and then just blend it.
How easy is that?
That is super
Takes
easy.
no time. As you
And-
said, the kids, you know, they've got activities. You're racing all around the city.
Yeah.
You have activities yourself as
Yes.
well, right? So this is some great ideas for that
Yep.
occasion. What are we wrapping up with
if
here?
you like coleslaw, this is
I
a
love
great
coleslaw.
go-to. Okay, so cabbage is plentiful. So I
Okay.
did a combination of red and white, and I've added some carrot in there. If you want a really quick go-to, some of your local grocers, for sure Farm Boy, they already have it shaved for you. So,
Oh, yeah, of
but I mean,
course.
it takes no
Okay.
time at all.
Yeah.
This is your dressing. You've got 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of, tablespoons, of apple cider.
Okay.
You've got oregano. You've got Dijon mustard.
Nice.
And you've got a little bit of maple syrup.
Oh, look at you. So
So
Canadian. I love
lovely.
it.
And then you're just going to pour that over top of your coleslaw, and you're set to go. That is your
Okay.
coleslaw. But what you're going to add it to is Turkey Joe's.
Instead of a sloppy Joe,
exactly,
we're doing a turkey
a
Joe.
Turkey Joe. So
Okay.
that's going to be great for you guys for lunch. I'll set you all up.
All right.
And then what we're going to do here, and I've already done it
Yeah,
ahead
what
of
have you
time,
got in here?
is I've taken ground turkey,
Okay.
1 pound of it. It's usually sold in the 1 pound packs.
Right.
And then I've just sauteed it with sweet potatoes. These are going to be your secret for the winter.
Yes,
They can be
agreed.
in brownies, they could be in pancakes, they can be in,
What-
I'm going to do a sweet potato show
Okay,
for you.
I want
I'm gonna
that
get
to happen 'cause I
6
wa-
recipes for you.
Okay,
sweet
I want to
potatoes.
try a sweet potato brownie.
Okay,
That's
so
on my
this
bucket
is
list.
all. Whoa.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, we've got sweet potatoes, and then what I did is I actually took a can of stewed tomatoes,
Okay.
sweet potatoes, the onions, and the ground turkey.
Yeah.
And I've just boiled it so the liquids kind of evaporate inside.
Okay.
And then I've got this. I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of hot
Is that
sauce,
hot
barbecue
sauce, nice.
Well, barbecue sauce, but ours is always hot. I don't. Are you guys a hot family?
I like the hot sauce.
That's what I
Absolutely.
figured.
So we mix these up. We got cheese on here.
And you're just
we're
putting this on top?
Flopping it on.
You're
right?
slopping it on. You got that.
Foodlandontario.ca. Check out TV recipes. We'll be back doing something a little interesting. I think you're going to love this next segment. Don't go anywhere.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Trio Financial Planning, helping individuals and families live today and build for tomorrow. Branton Renovation is pleased to support this episode of Daytime Ottawa. Branton Renovations, Ottawa's award-winning renovations team.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Dustin Design and Drafting, your first step toward building your dream project with a team approach. Daytime Ottawa is proudly supported by Mary's Must Read Book Club. Follow Mary on social media at Mary K. Taggart for her latest book club picks.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Eastboro Designs. Eastboro Designs, designing a bold lifestyle through functionality and beauty.
Welcome back to the show. As promised, back with something very unique. They come on the show quite a few times over the last few months, and we've talked mostly about yoga, but they do so much more than just yoga. Pranashanti Yoga Center, a wonderful place to be. Devinder is the owner and founder, and Venus is a yoga instructor, and I guess singing bowl instructor. I don't know. Is that fair to say, Venus?
Sound enthusiast.
Sound enthusiast. I like that. Devinder, it's wonderful to have you on the show.
Great to be back.
We haven't had you on for a while. For those that aren't familiar with Pranashanti, just tell them at home a little bit about yourselves.
Sure. So we're a yoga center located here in Ottawa. We've been, can you believe it, 16 years now.
That's amazing.
16 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah. We've got about 70 classes a week. We do everything hybrid, so you can join in person or online for everything.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Courses, workshop, trainings, everything. Yeah.
And as many will know if you've been watching and following the show, whenever Carmen and some of the other people come on the show, you do so many different things.
There's so much going on.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So many workshops, different classes. There's something for everybody, whether you want to do like a big workout, physical practice, or you want to do something more relaxing, or it's really good for your nervous system, like this is what we're going to do today. There's absolutely something for everyone.
So Venus, tell me about sound healing. How would you describe it to people?
So it's a therapeutic kind of practice where you use vibrations to calm the nervous system. And a lot of people use it for insomnia, a lot of people just relaxation. You have a very stressful day, you listen to sounds, you absorb the vibrations and frequencies, and it just brings you in a more relaxed state.
Yeah, and I think you touched on some of those benefits. So things like depression and anxiety and insomnia. For those that have never experienced sort of a sound healing before, like it's not just about hearing, right? There, as you mentioned, those vibrations. How do those vibrations work within the body?
For some studies, they say it's from a cellular level because everything has a vibration, including our cells, of course. So like a musical instrument that can fall out of tune, the same thing can happen to the body as it goes through life. So this is supposed to kind of restable or bring you back to a higher vibration instead of a lower vibration.
Okay. Can you give us a little example here on the show today? I'm just warning to my audio people. Things are going to sound a little different if you've never heard these before, by the way. And these are what, singing bowls?
So they're made out of crystal quartz.
Okay.
And they're pretty much singing bowls.
All right. Well, have at it.
Absolutely.
I just want. So I've always just done the circle, but I guess you can go back and forth on it as well to get a different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. So it's a nice way also to control the noise. If it gets too high, if you actually go backwards, you can actually.
So that brings the level
sometimes
down.
you can. It all depends also on pressure.
I guess if it's somebody experienced like yourself. And Devinder, this isn't the only method of tools that are used during these, right?
No, there's all kinds of different instruments. I mean, Venus has a whole array of different things that she brings. You know, she's got about 30 different instruments ranging from gongs to chimes to bells to crystal harps. It's incredible. Wow. So when you come to one of these sessions, you like lie down or you can sit comfortably and you just let the sound kind of just go all around you and through you, and it's really, really impressive.
Do you ever speak through it at all, Venus?
We sometimes typically do a little bit of a guided meditation before going in there, into the sound. So yeah, and sometimes I give a little bit of information about each instrument and what it may symbolize. Now, that being said, it could be whatever the person wants it to be. These are just symbols, because some people work better with a little bit of structure.
Right.
So that way it can actually give the benefit to somebody who needs that. And then, of course, people who already know what they want, they can do whatever they want with the sounds.
You brought something else along with you. What is this here?
It's a little rain stick that you can play, and you don't have to touch, so you can actually add this with that. Just a nice little gentle.
Ooh, layers and layers.
I know. It's so cool. And it looks like you brought some kind of drumsticks along with you.
Yeah, so some people do it with that, but sometimes you can actually work with this.
Oh, so sort of a softer touch than with those ones. You have something called Harmonic Renewal coming up November the 16th. Tell me about that.
That is coming up on November 16th. We do a little bit of yoga as well as a guided meditation. And then we move on for pretty much just a little bit over an hour with just sound baths.
Devinder, I know that you also work outdoors at Pranashanti. I imagine you're wrapping that up.
Yeah,
that's
wrapping up. However, I will say we do have one last outdoor event, which is a Wim Hof experience. So that's getting in the ice bath outside. That's this weekend. So just before it gets too cold.
But that's becoming ever growing in popularity. I see it all the time now on social media. I mean, I've done it myself as well, but I've done more of the sauna and then the cold plunge.
Yeah.
But this is just a cold plunge.
This is like
right?
yoga first. Talk about how the whole process works and how good it is for your physical body and your organs, and then the cold plunge outside.
What is the benefit of that cold plunge?
It flushes the organs. It's very rejuvenating. It's cleansing. It's a really great whole lymphatic flush as well.
And when is that coming up?
That's this weekend.
Okay, this weekend. And honestly, listen, I'm a bit of a wimp. I've only done it out of a hot tub or out of a sauna. But it is really something special.
This will be next level.
Exactly. This is next level and an incredible experience. Another reminder as well, Harmonic Renewal at Pranashanti, November 16th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. You can go to pranashanti.com for more information. We'll be back with more right after this.
Kids these days, people say we lack initiative.
And technology, that we're all addicted.
Kids these days, we hear that we only care about ourselves. Apparently, we're lazy.
And don't seem to have any sense of independence.
Actually, kids these days are facing a lot.
Because the world has changed, and so have our health issues. Kids these days, we could really use your help. Join CHIO in our biggest fundraising campaign ever to transform pediatric care.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
It's a new season of The New Fly Fisher on Rogers TV.
Mo.
The moustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Donate at Movember.com.
Get front row seats to Music and Beyond's unforgettable summer festival. Experience world-class concerts, mesmerizing performances, and much more. Music and Beyond presents a new season on Rogers TV.
Unbelievable! You just never see that. What a shot! Scores!
The OHL on Rogers TV. Welcome back to the show. Well, now that you're calm and you're relaxed after some singing bowl healing, sound healing, it's probably a great time to bring out that artist within you. And my next guest, we love having him on the show. David Kern joins me, instructor over at the Ottawa School of Art, and of course does a lot of his own things as well. You and your wife have a brand new book out, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But the Ottawa School of Art, David, I understand registration just began November 1st for winter sessions?
Yes, so the winter term registration is open, right? So it's all up there on the website. I took a quick look through this morning, right? And there's just masses of courses, right? There's just too much to describe, right? So whether it's drawing, painting, sculpture, sort of mixed art, crafts, right? It's all
jewelry
there.
making in there too, right? Ceramics,
everything, right? And there's courses downtown in Orleans, a few in Canada too, and online, right? And I teach personally. I do Orleans, downtown, and online, right? So there's really some format for everyone.
Yeah, and I think it's great to have the online because winter months, some people don't necessarily want to or don't get outside as much as they have in the past. So this is a great opportunity if you don't want to travel as well, right?
Right, and if you do want to travel, I mean, this is worldwide, right? I mean,
exactly.
When I do the winter courses, it's sometimes I'm seeing people with the patio doors open and whatever. They're in nice climates for people taken from Europe, West Coast, right? Depending on time, you can take it from wherever, right? And I record the sessions. So that some people pick the session, they can't meet it, they can't get there every week, but they can still participate.
Oh, that's
great. So it's really flexible. Great.
Well, one thing that you've always encouraged me is that I've always said I'm a little intimidated by art. I have, my wife's a wonderful artist, so is my daughter, and then I get wonderful people like you that come on the show and you say to me, Derek, anyone can be an artist, and you're gonna draw with me today. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I thought we'd do a little bit of drawing, right?
Okay.
Because we did painting last time. And actually a little earlier in the year when Megan was here, right, we did a little bit of drawing, right?
Yeah.
And what we learned was that we actually did this. I want to, right?
Oh, this is what you did when I was away with Megan.
This is what we did with Megan, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So what we found was if we didn't know what we were drawing, because we basically drew these funny shapes, right? And then we just put them all together. And suddenly we had a bird, actually.
Really?
An interpretation of one of France's drawings, my wife's drawings, right? So the thing is that that kind of works. That if you don't know what you're doing, it works out better. Right? Okay. So I've got another idea.
I don't know what I'm doing, so this should work out. Here, I got that.
Yeah. So I got another idea.
Okay.
That I thought we'd try.
Okay.
So I thought I'd go a bit crazy, right? And I'm
artists are a little crazy, aren't they?
I know. It just gets worse, right?
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right.
So I'm left-handed.
Okay.
So I thought today I'd draw with my other hand.
Okay.
Right. So we'll have a go at that and see where we we go, right? And there's a little bit of a message to it, right? And this is actually something that people can do at home as well, right? All you need is a pencil, a piece of paper. It can have lines on it, or a pen, whatever, right?
Okay.
So it's a great start to any kind of craft or art, I think. Sort of doing a little bit of drawing, and this is a good idea, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my hand with my non-drawing hand.
Okay.
right? And of course, when I try and do that, it's going to look very strange. But I'm doing it with a single line, right? This is like unraveling a thread over a surface, right? So, and I don't really care if it looks sort of a little bit bizarre, and I'll kind of go back and forward over lines that I've already done.
Okay.
But the idea is you just follow a line. Right?
So yeah, the marker, pen, pencil, whatever you're using never comes off the paper.
Off the paper, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could do it could be a teapot or a deck chair. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, I'm just doing my other hand because, you know, it's kind of fun to say that you can draw both hands.
Right.
Right. So I just keep doing that, and I've got to go back here and. Right, so from here I can come down and get another finger. I'm going to try for 5 fingers, by the way.
Okay.
Right, I have seen like 7.
7?
I've seen quite a few paintings with 6, believe it or not.
Well, that's the beauty of art, right? It doesn't have to be perfection.
Right, so I got one more.
That's
one more finger to go, right? Well, that's the thing, right? Although it looks all jiggly because I can't really draw that well with my non-drawing hand, but the shapes, they actually tend to come together quite well, right? So now when I put it all together, and I'll just come down to my wrist here, right? If I can get my, I'll get my watch.
Oh, you're even throwing in the watch?
I'll throw the watch in just to... Okay. It's actually a little trick because it's always good to have a wrist because it stops the hand looking like it's going nowhere, right? So, so now I've got my hand drawn with my wrong hand. My wrong hand, right? So go figure. How did I do that, right?
Yeah, how did you do? Well, you're a talented artist.
Yeah, so there's that. But I tell you, I've seen people in classes that had like no conception of drawing. They just had not drawn before, right? And then suddenly they find they can draw with their non-drawing hand.
Really?
Right. It's a really, really, really strange thing. And the thing is, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a little bit of an unusual situation.
Right.
So that somehow that helps. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think there's more comfort, and then I mean, here, you know, you can laugh at yourself a little bit too, and it's a more relaxed sort of environment that you're setting up. Hey, listen, don't go anywhere because David's going to stick around, and we're going to continue talking about this, and not perhaps, I'll give this a try myself. We'll be back right after this.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Trio Financial Planning, helping individuals and families live today and build for tomorrow. Branton Renovation is pleased to support this episode of Daytime Ottawa. Branton Renovations, Ottawa's award-winning renovations team.
We fought our way through Italy and then headed for Amsterdam, sweeping for Germans along the way. Our worst fear was to catch a bullet in these last hours of the war.
I was 15 when the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. More than 100,000 Dutch Jews never came home. Our men were put into forced labor. By 1945, we were starving. The food drops gave us hope. And then the Canadians came.
Before Amsterdam, I couldn't have explained why we were there, all those years away from home, but the Dutch showed us why it mattered.
Papa wanted me to bring some soldiers home to thank them personally, and that's when I first saw Wilf, and I invited him over that afternoon.
Marguerite Blaise married Lieutenant Wilf Gildersleeve. They moved to Vancouver, where they raised 8 children. Today, the Dutch still remember the Canadians who liberated them.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Dustin Design and Drafting, your first step toward building your dream project with a team approach. Ottawa is proudly supported by Mary's Must Read Book Club. Follow Mary on social media at Mary K. Taggart for her latest book club picks.
Welcome back to the show. So we just finished off with David Kern working with his wrong hand on drawing his own hand, and he has just handed me the marker. So I'm guessing, David, it is my turn.
It's your turn.
To do.
That's
okay.
Right. You got it. And no cheating. You got to use your
I'm a righty, so I've got it in my left hand here.
Okay. So we'll just take this down. Right.
Okay.
And there we go. So there's a hand. Right. So maybe just have a go. Just follow the lines. Right.
Okay.
If you think about it, it's like driving a car, right?
All right.
We drive with our eyes and then we control with the steering wheel. So it's the same thing. All we're doing is following a line. Just slowly does it. You just look at whatever, whenever you see a little sort of wrinkle or something, just put that, exactly, right? The more funny little things you find to draw, the better it works out. Right? There, you just say, well, I've got to come round here, and then I'll just keep that. Yeah. At the worst, it's just a doodle, right? It's just going to be.
Right, exactly.
And the thing is, it kind of frees your brain up from thinking about day-to-day things.
Yeah, it's true, because you're only in the moment, right?
Yeah.
You can't really think of anything else.
Right. Okay. So where are you going to go now? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'm beginning to see a hand, right?
I'm glad you.
No. We got the right number of fingers, I think. Right. That's a good start. So. Right. We just pull up, press, pull. We shouldn't even say it's a thumb, right? As soon as we start naming things.
Right.
That's part of the problem. I'll chat about that a little bit. But
okay.
Hey, look at that thumb.
That's not bad.
That's a brilliant thumb. Yeah, you see, as soon as you start finding little things to actually add, it works out better, doesn't it? So Derek, that's great, eh? Let's cheat. We'll cheat a little bit.
The ratio wasn't good in that.
We got it. Right, got it. But
But you're right. It doesn't. In my head, I'm not going, oh, I've got to be perfect on this, or I'm gonna, it's gonna look like garbage, kind of, right? Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, obviously practice helps, right? There's no doubt about that, right? But the thing is that if you do things in your kind of normal day-to-day mode, right? What will happen is it'll tend to look like a rubber glove, right? Or a claw or something, right? Because what you're doing is you're stopping looking, and you're starting thinking, right? And there's this mantra: draw what you see, not what you know, right? And the thing is, we think we know how to draw, or we think we can't draw, right? It's either way, I see both, right? But neither is true, right? Because we can all draw, because we draw with our eyes. We can all see. As soon as we start, letting go, right? Relaxing, it's a relaxation thing. It's getting away from your day-to-day life and into that kind of zone where time just disappears, and we've all heard about you being in the zone, right?
Yeah, of course.
So this little exercise, and there are some others, but this one's a great one because it puts you in an unusual situation that your day-to-day brain can't cope with.
Right.
So what it does is it says, I can't do this. I don't care.
I don't care if I can or not. Yeah.
It just goes to sleep, right? So the expectation is gone, right?
Now, would you suggest
after
someone does this exercise to try it with their right hand and see?
Well, sometimes I say, well, do you use both hands? Do both hands, right?
Right.
You can do this same exercise with your normal drawing hand, right? That's what I did here, right? So it's a great exercise to follow a line. As I say, it's just like driving. Like we can follow the white line in the middle of the road. We can follow a line on a teapot or a deck chair or something, right? It's the same thing, right? So it's just we don't think we can do it.
No, I agree. I wanted to get to this wonderful book here.
So great
and
thing
you
to
and your
try
wife,
at home.
France,
Try
are
it at
coming
home.
back on the show to talk specifically about the book. But this is called Creative Surge: 3 Winters with Tom Thompson, one of the most influential artists, right? That's come out of this country. Just give everybody an idea why you chose Tom Thompson, you and France, for this book.
Yeah, well, we have this kind of shared joy with Tom Thompson that kind of goes way back, right? Myself, when I first arrived in Montreal, actually, right, I would go to the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, and Tom Thompson's work was one of the first images that resonated with me, right?
Right.
And then I got into other things and I kind of forgot about it all. And France, when she was at school, going on a trip to the National Gallery, was sort of connected with Tom Thompson as well, right? So we found we had Tom Thompson as a kind of shared joy, if you like, right? And actually, France did a version of Tom Thompson's Jack Pine.
Oh, really?
For one of my birthdays,
it's
right?
iconic,
And she did it actually in secret, right? So
okay.
So there it is in my studio, sort of
nice.
one of her paintings, and that was the genesis of the book, because we then started doing workshops themed on major painters. We've done like 150. And Tom Thompson's one that comes back to us all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Also, you've got your 40th anniversary. The Ottawa School of Art has its 40th anniversary fundraiser coming up as well, right?
Yeah. So the fundraiser, I think it starts on the 21st. Lots of great art for sale through into December for the holidays, right?
Yeah.
It's all in support of the outreach program, which is a big part of the school's mandate and really important for us, right? And I would mention this is a show that is open to everyone,
yes.
right? If you would like to show your art, then just go on the Ottawa School of Art website and check out the requirements, right? You only have to join the school, right? It's like 25 bucks. There's other benefits as well.
Yeah.
There's discounts and whatever. Yes.
Artottawa.ca. Find out more information on that.
Yeah.
And a couple of book signings coming up. The OSC on Thursday, November the 14th from 5 to 7. And I'll tell you about the other one as we wrap up the show just a little bit later on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Trio Financial Planning, helping individuals and families live today and build for tomorrow. Branton Renovation is pleased to support this episode of Daytime Ottawa. Branton Renovations, Ottawa's award-winning renovations team.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I'm so happy to have these prosthetic legs. I wear them every day so I can do all the things I love to do. I like to hike, skate, and do gymnastics. Because of your donations, Ramps is able to give me these devices. When you donate, you help kids like me. Thank you.
Join us for the next hour to give here on Rogers TV. Learn all about the Snowsuit Fund. Learn about how you can help make sure 17,000 kids are toasty and warm this winter.
This episode of Daytime Ottawa is brought to you in part by Dustin Design and Drafting, your first step toward building your dream project with a team approach. Daytime Ottawa is proudly supported by Mary's Must Read Book Club. Follow Mary on social media at Mary K. Taggart for her latest book club picks.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the show. We are closing in on the holidays, and don't wait to the last minute to find out what events are happening in Ottawa so that you can, of course, not only support a great artisan or maker, but support a great cause. And Beth Donovan Hospice was recently on the show. Wanted to have them back on because they've got their big Christmas market coming up. I'm joined by Darlene Cullen, who wears many, many hats within both My Local Markets and Beth Donovan Hospice. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Let's talk about how this market all came to be. What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, about 5 years ago, during the pandemic, that word that we don't want to talk about, everything was closed, and we were looking for a way to get the community out and together, but in a safe way. So we started with our first outdoor Christmas market. And during that time, we could only have 100 people into the market.
Yeah, I remember.
There were massive lines. Everybody had masks on. We had to be very, very well spread out, but it was kind of magic.
Right.
And the joy that you could see on everybody's faces to be out and be together, and the live music and the shopping from our local small businesses, it was incredible.
And then you ended up partnering with North Grenville Art Guild. Tell me about that partnership and how that came to be, Darlene.
So this event's held on the Kemptville campus.
Right.
And North Grenville Art Guild does a art show every year. And we decided, why not make it a Christmas on campus event?
Okay.
So we have a sleigh ride that will take you from the art show to the outdoor Christmas market and back. And the campus grounds are just gorgeous. I mean, walking trails, trees, just absolutely beautiful. And then we also include the greenhouse in that. So people can do greenhouse visits, cactus house tours.
Yeah, and it's a great time of year, right, to do something like that, especially outdoors. Everyone bundles up. They get their sweaters and scarves on. And is it all local? All local makers and artisans?
It's all local makers and artisans. You got it.
You've got something new happening this year. Let's talk about this snow globe, and it's not just a snow globe, right?
No, I'm really excited. I've wanted this for several years.
Okay.
It's about 13 feet wide, and it's a huge inflatable snow globe that you're able to actually get inside of and take pictures in. So Santa will be on site.
Okay.
And we have some characters that will be on site to be able to take pictures with you inside the snow globe. And families can just do selfies and do their family portraits inside as well.
That is awesome. You mentioned characters. So what other characters can we expect besides Santa?
We always have our gingerbread men. We call them Naughty and Nice.
Nice.
So they've been entertaining us for the last several years. And then we have a really fun inflatable Christmas tree.
Okay.
That the second you see them, like, you just smile. You can't help it. It's silly and fun and joyous.
Let's talk about who it supports, because it is free admission, but it is supporting Beth Donovan Hospice. Tell us about that.
So when I stopped doing My Local Markets, I became the outreach coordinator at Beth Donovan Hospice. I'd been volunteering there before the pandemic, so it was only natural, if we were going to continue this, that I would be working to help the hospice.
Right.
So the hospice team will be on site that day, collecting signatures for the petition to unlock some hospice beds in our community, and collecting donations.
Yeah, so that campaign, the reason behind that is what, for those that aren't familiar?
So we don't have any residential hospice beds in North Grenville, and our catchment area covers Manotick to Merrickville, North Gore, Richmond.
Right.
So right now, if somebody wants to use a hospice bed, they have to travel into Ottawa, or they're going to Cornwall, or just beyond Brockville.
So, and that being that we're not just even talking about the person that is going into hospice, it's those caregivers and family members and friends that, you know, may or may not be able to travel so far, and you don't want to be out of your community that you lived in, right, your whole life.
Absolutely. If you have a loved one that is passing, you don't want to be driving an hour into the city every day to visit with them at the end of life.
Right.
You want them to be close to home and a place that is comfortable and feels convenient for you to be able to spend that time with them.
You mentioned end of life, Darlene, and hospice is more than just that, you know, very end of life. Just describe to everybody at home why this is so incredibly important to have for people in any community across the country.
I actually had a client just say this to me, and I thought it was such a good example. She said, "It felt like I came in and I was just wrapped in a warm blanket."
Nice.
Everybody came to support the entire family, not just the client. So that means the caregivers and the family members, and supporting them through grief supports as well as caregiver supports. We even do medical equipment lending. So if you have a
Right.
family member who needs some equipment and you're keeping them at home, we can help you get that equipment. And all of the services are no cost.
Right. Darlene, let's talk a little show and tell.
Yes.
What have you brought with you here today?
So Mima's cheesecakes, I picked them up this morning from her commercial kitchen. She sent these along.
Nice.
So we've got these delicious cheesecakes here, and they'll be at the market, of course. And then I seem to remember that you liked barbecue sauce and hot sauce.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I brought some cowboy candy from Haco's.
Oh, I know Haco's. They're fantastic
And then
sauces.
I brought a mustard menace, kind of a milder hot sauce.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And the cheesecakes, by the way, we've got triple Oreo, we've got fudge here, caramel, wild blueberry, cherry, and Boston cream. And these are just an example of a few of the products that are going to be available. If people can't make it out to the Christmas market, they can always donate online to Beth Donovan Hospice,
Yes,
right?
just at bethdonovanhospice.ca.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, Darlene. Again, Christmas on campus. As Darlene said, if you've never been to the Kempville campus, it is a fantastic place to have to have something like this. November 18th and 19th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. mylocalmarkets.ca for more information. I'll be back to wrap up the show right after this. Don't go anywhere.
For me, the end was just the beginning. I felt I must come. If I did not come at once, it would be too late. And these places that are watered with the best blood of Canada might only be names and memories. I see it in the soldiers, the grief I know so intimately. And I will not abandon these men to it. The isolation wears on me. Slowly, the silence takes over, as if my heart has given out of air. I cannot talk. I can only paint.
For more than 2 years, Mary Ryder Hamilton painted the battlefields of the First World War, creating an unforgettable visual record of service and sacrifices at immense personal cost.
Let's wrap up by talking about some of the events. Some of the things that I didn't get to. First of all, David Kern and his wife France and their wonderful book, Creative Surge, 3 Winters with Tom Thompson. They have 2 big events coming up. One is their book signing at DeSera's in Saint Laurent Shopping Centre. That's coming up Saturday, November 16th from 12 to 3 p.m. And at the Ottawa School of Art as well, Thursday, November 14th at 5 to 7 p.m. So 2 opportunities, and they will both be there so you can chat with them about their brand new book. And they're going to be back on the show in just a couple of weeks talking about the book in more detail as well. And don't forget, registration for winter art courses open. You can go to registration.artottawa.ca to register. There's something for everyone there. Harmonic renewal at Pranashanti Yoga Center. We got a little taste of what you can expect there. November the 16th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. And if you have a show idea, reach out to me on social media. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hello everyone, my name is Kwadwo Karamantang. I'm an ICU physician here in Ottawa, and I'm so excited to bring to you our latest show, Solving Healthcare with Dr. K. We're gonna tackle some of healthcare's biggest issues, and more importantly, we're gonna talk about ways to leverage preventive health. How do you avoid seeing someone like myself in the intensive care unit? And this show is exclusive on Rogers TV, so please tune in. You guys are gonna love it.